All right. All right. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you had a good weekend, a good Lord's Day, a good everything. I had a great weekend. You know, one of my sons had a birthday this weekend. They're growing up so fast. It's just a wonderful thing to see. Had a good Lord's Day yesterday. I had a chance to teach on the life of Samson, or at least a part of the life of Samson, which is awesome. I love going back to stories that you remember from like Sunday school when you were a kid and looking at them in a little bit more depth. There's always so much there that you don't remember. There's some good stuff in the Bible. I don't know about you, but I think there's some good stuff in there. In any case, oh yeah, I also had a chance to play one of my favorite Star Wars tabletop games with my sons. Really fun. The Empire won yet again. The Empire is just powerful. I gotta say, you know, the more I think about the Empire versus the Rebellion, the more I sympathize with the Empire. I mean, obviously, the Empire's not totally good. You know, we get that. But I don't know, man. Those rebels seem like a bunch of commies to me. But in any case, and especially the Jedi are... There's a lot of suspect things about the Jedi, in my opinion. In any case, let's jump into it today. Somebody reached out on my website and asked me about my take on RightNow Media. And I didn't know a whole lot about it. I'd heard the name before, but I didn't really know what it was. And apparently, RightNow Media is sort of like a service that churches use to kind of, instead of like, you know, they figure out a curriculum to use for Sunday school or like their small groups or something like that. RightNow Media provides like a subscription service where you have like, you know, cloud access and 24/7 access to all these resources. They're like kind of like small group resources, you know, Sunday school type resources, things like that. And it's videos and, you know, things of that nature. And he wanted to get my take on it because to him it looked like a who's who of woke church personalities. And so I did look into it a little bit. Let me give you my take. We're gonna watch some of this. I'm gonna give you my take on it right as we watch it. And it's not positive. It's not a positive take, but it's not necessarily, you know. Well, let's just watch it. So this is sort of like the introductory video that you get sent when your church is either bought this or is thinking about buying it. All right, here we go. The production value is high. Very serious.
Welcome to our study of the Gospel of John.
I have fallen in love with the work of Paul as I've studied the book of 1 Corinthians, and I believe you will too.
I'll bet.
This is where Jesus taught in Capernaum. And you have to understand this scene.
The Lord is my shepherd. And over the next 6 weeks, we're going to look deeply into the 23rd Psalm.
RightNow Media. It's for groups. It's for personal devotion. It's for parents.
The bullseye of parenting is to raise children who become like Jesus.
It's for kids.
These are
This
so
is
big.
Phil. We're digging into the Bible, which, as we've mentioned, is more than just a book.
It's for tough times.
So when you recognize that you're trying to have a conversation with your spouse and they're not ready to talk, it's not helpful to keep pressing them.
It's for every phase of life.
If you've made mistakes with money, you know what that makes you? Over 12.
That was a good one, Dave Ramsey.
And now,
I like Dave Ramsey. He's not perfect.
We've purchased a RightNow Media subscription for everyone in our church. So check your inbox for the digital invitation and download the app for instant access to thousands of biblically based videos.
Oh, that was Eric Mason.
Get equipped.
Gross.
Get inspired.
All right, so when I watched that video, I kind of knew where this was. You know, here's the thing. I'm willing to bet that, you know, let's just say all of the teaching in this let's just say that it was a pizza. Like it's a one big pizza. This is all the teaching in RightNow Media. On this half of the pizza, it's just like great ingredients, you know, bacon, onions, mushrooms, like the normal stuff, the stuff that everybody loves, and you could get it anywhere. Every restaurant has it. There you go. And then that's half the pizza. I would say a quarter of the pizza, it's like, you know, questionable ingredients, and like maybe like anchovies. You know, not everybody likes anchovies, but it's like a common ingredient that most people that enjoy pizza, or a lot of people that enjoy pizza like. I remember as a kid watching Ninja Turtles, and Michelangelo was very insistent, you do not put anchovies on this pizza. And I always thought that was so funny because I'd never put anchovies on a pizza. But then as an adult, I realized that people do put anchovies on pizza, a common ingredient. And then in the top, and then in the top corner, you got things that people would never put on pizza, bugs and just any nasty thing you can imagine is on that quarter. That's what I feel like is probably the case with the content here. Probably half of it is pretty good. It's nothing controversial. It's probably helpful and all of that. And then a quarter of it is like, there's like some things that are like, not for everybody. Some people agree with it, some people don't, kind of controversial. And then there's a quarter that's just putrid poison, right? A quarter that's putrid poison. So you're really not getting much of anything here, except for really two things. You're getting poison mixed with, good teaching from teachers that are very questionable in my opinion. If you saw that, it really is a who's who of the woke church, kind of liberal normalizing church. Like a guy like Matt Chandler, right? I don't think Matt Chandler is like an uber liberal necessarily, but he's definitely there normalizing liberal Christianity. And I mean, politically liberal, but also to a certain degree some theological liberalism as well. He's there normalizing that kind of stuff. Guys like Phil Vischer, like that like these are alarm bells. This kind of thing. If my church sent me this video and said, "Look, we're going to be using this material," number one, I would never watch any of this stuff. There's just no way. It's not worth it to me. The stuff that's good, the half of the pizza that's good with the onions, pepper, bacon, and mushrooms, I can get that anywhere. Like, I mean, I can get that kind of pizza anywhere. So it's not worth my time to watch this nonsense and try to have to pick apart all the nonsense out of the good stuff, right? This is the thing. People will be like, well, why don't you just swallow the meat and spit out the bones? And it's like, yeah, but it's so bony that it's not even worth it. It's not worth the time. Why don't I just get some meat? Why don't I just get some good meat that has a little bit of bones for flavor? Why do I got to get bones with a little bit of meat for nourishment? Like it's not worth it to me. Like, it's just so bony. Why do it? So that's kind of what I would never watch any of this stuff. I don't like this kind of production value. Some people do. And I'm not saying that that's objectively wrong, where it's like kind of like overly serious and like you got that weird like cringy B-roll where somebody's walking slowly on the ruins and stuff like that. It's all intended to make it seem very serious. And I think that's corny, to be perfectly honest, but not everybody thinks that's corny. So that's just a personal taste kind of thing. But it's a who's who. I mean, you got Eric Mason on the subway train, with his little leprechaun hat and all that kind of stuff. And the thing is, like I said, half of this is probably going to be good teaching. It's going to be good teaching. But then, like, the other half of the pizza, it's split between poison and then, like, very questionable teaching. It's like, why go through the effort? Is Eric Mason bringing you this, like, amazing take that it's so good that it's worth wading through the garbage to get to it? Like, is it really that good? Is Matt Chandler's teaching in certain areas like so awesome and so amazing that it's worth getting past his affirmative action schemes that he recommends? Like, is that really worth it to you? It's not worth it to me, because whatever Matt Chandler's bringing to the table that's good, somebody else is bringing it a lot better. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. And so that's my take on this. Like, I would never, ever watch this. Now, I looked into this a little bit more, and, there's some stuff here there's just a lot of materials here. Look, a streaming library of 20,000 Bible study videos for leaders to share with their people. Now, here's the thing, too. Like, your pastor might be picking out the good stuff here, right? Again, your pastor, like, he doesn't have to give you every lesson here and stuff like that. Your leaders can pick and choose it. I looked into the documents here, and it seems like you don't have to give your congregation access to every video. I could be wrong about that because I haven't talked to anybody at RightNow Media, but that's what it looked like. It looked like you could pick and choose certain things to give them access to, just in case there's anything that you wouldn't want them to listen to. So I guess that's okay. Like, again, this is not like a deal breaker for me necessarily. I would never watch Right Now Media, but if my church somehow did this, like I have a solid pastor. My pastor is pretty based. He would never ever send me this stuff unless it was to just kind of joke about it. But if he did, like in some alternate universe where he did, like I would never watch it because this is just not my thing. But would I leave the church over this? Like that's another thing, because I think that's kind of the question behind the question. And I don't know. I mean, this is a huge red flag in my opinion. This kind of thinking that this kind of content is like it's a must-have for you. You get the teaching by J.D. Greer to tell you that pronoun hospitality is like a good thing or whatever, or Matt Chandler, who's singing the praises of Barack Obama, or Francis Chan crying while he tells you something woke. Like, if this is like if my pastor thinks this is like so beneficial, that's a red flag for me. That's a red flag for me. It's not like an instant leave, but it's like I don't get the appeal here. Why is this so helpful to you? Why is this something that we need? You know what I mean? Why don't we just do, I don't know, a Ligonier Bible study? I mean, Ligonier's not perfect, but at least like it's not going to be trendy for trendiness' sake. A lot of this is trendy for trendiness' sake, in my opinion. It's not all bad, but it's not good either. How we select content, like here's the thing, like they give you a whole list of the things that they, how they select content. Here's the primary content themes. Like these are huge red flags in my opinion, right? Like there's all sorts of stuff here, and some of this is good, consumer culture, things like that, missionary, how churches, train their people. But then you get to number 9, and it's like, what this means. Like, obviously, like the sentence itself, you can't disagree with, but what this means in 2023, unless you're being uber specific. Number 9, this is how their content is chosen. Many people see the world as a hopeless and dark place, but Scripture teaches us to hate injustice and provide the hope found in Jesus. Now, the sentence is fine. It's a fine sentence. But this is about diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is about things like pronoun hospitality. That's why the people that they choose are all the people that are promoting liberalism in the church. This is all Gospel Coalition people. This is all woke church people. You are not going to find a based pastor in this list of people here. It's just not going to happen. You're going to find the people that are either woke themselves or they're making room for woke church. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. And so, yeah, this is not something that I would be happy about. If it was my church and they sent me this email and they were so excited to introduce Right Now Media with all this production value and Tim Tebow and Beth Moore and Phil Vischer and Eric Mason and Matt Chandler and J.D. Greer and Francis Chan and it's a who's who. The guy who messaged me is so right. This is a who's who of woke church, diversity, equity, and inclusion, liberal church, the liberal side of the conservative wing. This is Gospel Coalition stuff. This is BigEva. This is like a BigEva propaganda serving program. It's an app that serves your congregation. BigEva takes 24/7, anytime, any device, in the cloud, on demand, high definition, 4K, all that kind of stuff. And that's not good. To say the least, that's not a good thing. If it were me and I was going to a church, I can't even put myself in the mindset where my current pastor would do this. So let me just pretend I was in a different city in a different church, and my pastors, sent this email out. Like I said, number 1, there's just no way I would ever watch any of this stuff. It's just not worth it to me unless I was doing a video about it. Number 2, I would talk to my pastors about it. Like, this is not like an instant, and I would be honest with them. I'd say, hey, pastor, I'd send him an email, and this is how I would do it. I'd tell him exactly what I wanted to talk about, so that way it's not like you're not like, ambushing him or anything like that. I'd say, hey, pastor, I'd like to set up a meeting with you. I want to talk about this Right Now Media thing, because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm very concerned about what we're going to be, kind of going over in terms of this, what this says about the direction of the church, because this certainly seems to me to be like the woke church perspective. It's a who's who of woke church, teachers. And I know you're not woke, pastor, or at least I don't think you are, but I want to talk about this because this is a problem. This is a problem in my opinion, and I'd like to get your take on it. You know what I mean? And you know, something like that, like not accusatory, but just like, I want to talk about this. I don't understand. You know, I want to, maybe you can help me understand, because I think that the woke church movement is very damaging in evangelicalism, and I just want to, I want to hear where you're coming from, Pastor. Oh, let's talk it out. I'll buy you lunch. I'll buy you dinner. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. That's what I would do. And it'd be a red flag. Chances are, if your church is doing something like this, chances are they've done a lot of other things too. Chances are that they closed down during COVID. Chances are that they did social distancing. Chances are that, you know, I got other stuff I could say, but you know, that's my thing, right? Like, this is probably in a long line of other stuff. And I probably at this point could not attend a church that did all that stuff, and then now they're doing RightNow media with Francis Chan crying about, you know, who knows? He's crying about everything. Yeah, so anyway, I hope that was helpful. If there's anything I missed, the person who sent me this email, if there's something in particular about this website that you wanted me to check out that I missed, please let me know. But I think you're dead on. I think you're exactly right. This is no bueno. Any church that's like super excited to provide this kind of content to you from these people it's no bueno. That's for sure. This is not going to be a good thing in the grand scheme of the life of the church. This is bad stuff. This is bad stuff. In any case, I hope you found this video helpful. God bless.